Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's broadcast where we will talk about the new AIDS boat. My name is Korsgard. I'm the president of the International AIDS Boat Association, and with me to assist on all the technical issues, I have the vice president, Christoph Sander, from Germany. And also, I would like proudly to introduce to you Thomas Nielsen and Niels Nielsen from SAARE Yacht. Thomas Nielsen is the owner of SAARE Yacht, and we are very happy to now present you the new AIDS boat from SAARE Yacht. We have been lacking newly built AIDS boats for quite some years in the class, and we have also struggled a little bit with updating the new class rules to make this possible. But I'm happy to introduce to you Thomas Nielsen, who will tell us about both the SAARE Yacht in general and in particular about the new AIDS boat. So Thomas, please introduce yourself and your yacht.
Yeah, hello to everybody. Good evening. I will say thank you to the German Association and even to Mats with the International AIDS Boat Association to introduce our boat here today. I'm old AIDS boat sailor. Maybe somebody knows me from the 80s and 90s. I started in 85 to sail AIDS boat, and did this for 8 years, always with a new boat every year. First two boats I had are Technos. I only bought this polyester hull and deck and so on ready, and made all this furniture and the fittings by myself, not only because I thought I had better ideas, even by financial reasons. And then I changed to oil boats from Denmark and sold and sailed OL H boats. I had very good time, and I liked this very much. Before I had other boats for far quarter ton, and I sailed for cruising and even for races. And I like to change to the H boat class because this was biggest keelboat class in Europe. Very nice people. Best sailors of Europe sailed in this class at that time. As maybe, everybody knows Jens Christensen or Jesper Bank, Thijs Palm from Denmark especially, but even Swedes and Finns and others, and some Germans like Werner Fritz, Gerd Eiermann, Vinci Hösch. And it was a very nice atmosphere in the class, hard fights on the water, but nice evenings and a good time. One short information for you in general, if you want to learn a little bit more about our activities in the class, or if you have any request later, or if you want to come in the list for our newsletter, the SAARE Yachts H-Boat newsletter, please send a mail in that case to info@yse.de, or have a look at our webpage, yse.de, to be informed and to know at every time. In 91, 92, I had to stop my activities in the H boat because family, my company, all this took a lot of time, and there was not time enough to sail H boat anymore. In the following years, we sold many different boats. From Melges 24, we sold Dela to 4 and others. And in 2008, I became dealer for SAARE Yachts from Estonia. I had a friend in Finland, and he asked me if I liked that, and I checked these boats in the yard, and they are so good made and so high quality. So I became dealer for these boats, and These boats are between 11 and 14.5 meter big. Maybe you can see a photo from our SAARE yachts, Niels. So it's really nice cruising boat, not racing boat, but even fast, beautiful to sail. And after some years, I got the offer from the owners of this yard to take it over. So I had a chance in 2016, and I bought the yard in Estonia. We built 3 models there, 38, 41, and 46 feet big. So it looks in our yard, small yard. We have a very small capacity, but we make these boats nice, very individual, very modern with special technical issues. We have a 20-volt system. We have vacuum infusion made hulls and decks. We built everything with Vinylester and so on and so on. But as with many others I know, this H boat, if you have been real H boat sailor in your life, you will never forget that. And
it was still in your yeah, the H boat was still in your heart, even though you had to leave it from an active sailor point of view.
It is, and whenever I met some of these old H boat sailors at a boat show, or I remember it's maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, I met Jens Christensen, and we had some small talk, and it took maybe 1 minute, and then we started to talk about the old times in the H boat. And this was the case with everybody I met. And if I have today, I have a business contact in Finland, a very special thing for our SAAREs. And after some minutes, we know that this guy who was there as a salesman is H boat owner. And we said that we are producer of H boat. And this helps enormous. So you have good relations to these people, and it's nice to meet them, and you will never forget your time in the H boat. So with me, and then I spoke with many H boat sailors 2018 at the Düsseldorf Boat Show about my crazy idea to build H boats. And yeah, 1 year later, in February 2019, I went to Austria and I bought the molds and everything from Frauscher. So it was, a little adventure to buy this and to send it to Estonia. We had to clean and to polish and to repair it a little bit. And but the plan was to build this H boat, and I want to go back and sail H boat. But after some very short time, when we started this plan, we figured out that we had a problem with the material. All this is very precisely fixed in the class rules. And there was one glass, 680 gram per square meter, which we must use. And this was since years not available in the world market. Nobody produced this, so we couldn't buy. And without that, we couldn't build a H boat. My son Niels and I, we went to the Worlds in Medemblik in 2019. And there we met not only Christoph and others, even Mats was there, and all these presidents from the national class organizations. And we explained this problem, that this must be changed in the rules, because we did not want to start building H boats and know at the same moment that we do something which is against the rules. So everybody there was positive and understood immediately this must be changed in the rules. And they said, okay, wait, this will take 4 to 6 weeks. This was 2019. And nearly 4 years later, the rules were changed. 3.5
Yeah.
years.
We worked for a long time on this, and something was due to getting the writing done, and something was due to World Sailing requiring special formats, and also World Sailing actually changing some of the staff meantime, and we had to start all over.
Exactly.
But luckily, we got it approved, and there was actually no question asked to the main message. So it was more a matter of formalities, and now it's in place. And can you tell us, Thomas, what is the most difficult when you are building an H boat? I mean, it's a very old boat, so I guess compared to modern building methods, what is the most difficult when you had to prepare this new old boat?
Of course, the rules are very precisely, and every detail is fixed there. So you must put this layer here and exactly other layer with this weight and so on. So this takes time. But other thing which is even difficult is all these bilge laminate with the bilge beams. This gag from the rudder is quite difficult to make it in a proper way. And today, if you can see on this photo the bilge. And today, if you start to make a new modern boat, you will make this design much, much more easy. But don't forget, this boat is 50 years old. This is from the beginning of polyester boat building. And today, I'm sure you can make a boat in the same size with half of the working hours or less, and of course, much cheaper. And this is one reason why this boat is unluckily not so cheap. But it is the same problem if you look at a Dragon or a Folk boat or these classes. They are too complicated and too difficult made. Today, if you buy or build a J70, this is made in a few hours. But on the other hand, the quality is a big, big difference. If you look at the H boat today, we see boats which are not only 30 years old, we see 40, we see 50 years old boat from the beginning of the 70s and a little bit later. And these boats have still a good value. And today it's not easy to buy a good boat, to find a good H boat, which is really cheap. So many H boat sailors have the experience that they got their money back after 20 or 30 years. It's so stable in the price. And
we know that from the used boat H boat markets, that they really maintain their price. But Thomas, I was curious now that you said it's difficult to build and it takes much longer time. How long time does it actually take to build an H boat?
If you are good and have a good organization and well-trained team, then it's about 600 to 700 hours. So around 650 hours. But this needs continuous workflow and so on. And this is something what we are not able to do at this moment. So what we want in the future is a small production. Would be nice to build 5 to 10 boats per year, maybe one per month or a little less, but one after the other. So we would like everybody very much to think about, if you want a new boat for 24, come in contact with us and ask. And today you get this existing price will increase, every price increase today. And so we can build one after the other without time pressure. It's to give the best result, and we like very much, even as with our big boats, to give the best quality to our customers. This is most important thing for us. By the way, in the background right now, you can see the demolding H-boat hull. And that's also one reason why the H-boat is not so easy, because you have to move it out to the front while you lift it. And of course, you can't do it too much, because at the same time, you can't lose the skeg and the bilge. So it's quite tricky to get it out.
So even this was something what we had to learn, but now we know we had some other things. It was necessary to make a new mold for the keels. The keel mold to make these iron keels was not existing anymore. So we did this, and yeah, many other details. But even very interesting, yesterday we had a meeting here, and we make now a first test piece. If this will work, we hope, then we can supply this acrylic hedge the front of the cabin, like old Frauscher said, and even some others. This is a spare part which is really needed in the market, and we hope we can do that in the future. And so the rules, I think this problem what Matt said with world sailing, this might have even something to do with the as he said, there had some changes in the team every time, but maybe the relation between H-boat class and world sailing in London was not the best, because with former presidents and former teams, I think there was no contact to London, and there is a really report you have to send, and this was not done for years. So maybe they were not so happy with the H-boat class, but now everything went in a better direction. And I know that Christoph Zander was very active, and Sven Arping, our former chief measurer, was quite active, and even Mats. So today I think it's we have a good relation to H-boat class again, and to world sailing again. And now the rules are changed. Second thing what we asked for was not only this glass, we even wanted to laminate with another resin. And today it's allowed to use vinyl ester. This is a little bit similar to epoxy, but it is no epoxy. This vinyl ester is stronger, hull became stronger, and the biggest advantage is it is nearly 100% stable against osmosis. Osmosis was a problem on some older H-boats. So I think even this should not happen anymore. And of course, we can give now a 5 years warranty against osmosis.
Also, one more advantage is a different material for the inside of or the rudder itself. We are allowed to use a little bit thicker laminate for the rudder, so the rudder is more stable, because that's also a common issue on the H-boat. And of course, we can also supply spare rudders, which is not so easy, because it depends on which kind of H-boat it is. It depends where the bearing of the rudder blade is located. It's a little bit different from model to model.
So, but speaking of that, Niels, if I may ask, the spare parts, it would of course be very nice for owners of old H-boats if you could help with with other spare parts than to only the SAARE H-boat. So is that possible for you to custom make some of the garage across the entrance to the cabin, or make a modern one? Because I guess you have a more modern layout, or I know you have a more modern layout than a Botnia, for instance, from the 80s. So would it be possible to fit that on some of the old boats, you think?
Yeah, so we have a couple of spare parts, like the traveler beam inside the cockpit, which can also be retrofitted to any existing H-boat. The rudder, as mentioned, for Frauscher H-boat, it usually fits.
For some other brand, it also fits, but it's depending a little bit. But of course, we sell rudders separately. And even my dad told you about that. We are planning on the acrylic hatch to supply that. But masts, boom, all these things we can supply, and we have them in stock, or even engine mount. We have all that in stock.
Now you mentioned mast and boom. Are you producing mast and boom for the boat, or do you have a sub supplier?
We use John masts.
Okay, yeah.
We use John mast, but I must say we had a big warehouse with that, but it's nearly sold out now. But we will have it again, and so we can supply very fast, very soon with all these details. And we learned in the past months that there is a big need and big market. Today, I must say, shame on us, but we miss a little bit more manpower to be better in that. We had to request for this traveler beam from Sweden and from Austria and from Germany, and we get next, I think 8 of them in 10 days, hopefully. And this is, because H boats, especially in Germany, but maybe in other countries too, are laying somewhere on the lakes, and they don't have so easy access to good shops and other things. And I think it works fine to supply all these things. And as we know, all the old problems we had seen on old boats, not many problems, but we know these problems, and so we try to be prepared. Like the rudder, everybody, I think from us, had seen a broken rudder in the past, and this is typical thing. And I hope it is.
We even have the rudder in stock.
We try to have always a rudder in stock.
Or even trailer boxes. We even have trailers in stock.
That sounds good. So have you actually sold any H boats of this new beautiful boat?
Up to now, we sold 2. We slowed it down a little bit because we had 4 years before we were better prepared. Today, we must fix a new team in the yard, and even in Estonia, as everywhere, we have the problem to find the good, skilled people to do it. And but we built exactly now 2, and this is even interesting and typical. One boat was sold to an older sailor in the 60s, and he had 3 Frauscher boats before. He was together with the Frauscher team, number 2 or number 3 in the world in Austria, and then he sailed some other boats. And now he became a little bit older, and he said, okay, now I want H boat again. And I think even this is typical. There are even people somewhere started with H boats, sailed H boats in Sweden or Finland or Germany. Then they went with their big boat, Swan, whatever, to the Mediterranean Sea, and now they came back and want to sail H boat again. And
that's nice.
The funny thing about that customer, it's actually the boat you see right now on your screen, which is a recent photo. He's rebuilding the last H boat he had 20 years ago, basically. We have exact
you get some teak in the cockpit and so on. So
it should look as close as possible to the H boat he had 20 years ago.
Nostalgia.
You can really see it.
And even he was one of the main reasons to work with this acrylic hatch, which is not so easy. But now we found a company who can do that because he was Frauscher owner, and he wants this acrylic hatch, of course. And the other boat we sold just after Düsseldorf Boat Show. I can tell the name because this is agreed with the customer, is to Kai Niederfahrenhorst from Lake of Starnberg in south of Germany. And Kai is actual German champion, and he decided even for a new SAARE H boat and want to sail this boat on Lake of Garda for the Worlds. So
Super.
not
And
so
now
bad.
we have already heard that it takes such a long time to build an H boat. So can you tell us what is the list price at least for an H boat if we order it today?
Well, of course I can tell, and we have two comments to that. I say it's too cheap, and you will say it's too expensive.
Probably.
Without tax, the boat will cost 65,000 euros. Who
I
knows?
couldn't hear that. Sorry, what, 65,000 euros?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
65. And you need sales, but not so much more normally.
Okay.
It's
And
a
a
lot of
trailer.
money, but compared with others in this range, it's we try to find an attractive price. It's not so easy as I explained, but I think this is okay.
It's
Probably
a good
one-
kilo price.
Yeah, but probably one of the next questions which will come up is what we have changed on the H boat.
Yes.
And
Let's hear about that.
you can see a little bit, or one of the changes you can see right on this photo. We changed a little bit the shape of the window, of the main window, and even a little bit the color to make it look more modern. The other main change is in the laminate plan, and that we use vinyl ester resin. And inside we have, here you can see the window a little bit better, a little bit slimmer shape. This is just fitting inside the cockpit. And here inside we even offer oak as interior wood, but the inside of the H wood itself is not that much changeable. So
It looks like the old ones, of course. You have not so many possibilities there.
No, but it looks very, very nice. What about the exterior? What about all the trim lines? And are you building it with the aim for the regatta sailor or more the leisure time sailor? Or can you have two different setups? Or how do you offer it?
This is a plan to have two setups. At the moment, it's more for the regatta sailors what we offer with good fittings with
That's nice.
with Haken cleats and Haken blocks, of course, and very good rope and so on. But other thing is even to make an offer more for cruising sailors, which might be a little bit cheaper, I don't know today, but we will calculate that and offer that. So as I said, I see these two groups, and even in Düsseldorf in January at the boat show, we heard very often, "Oh, what a nice boat. Oh, how beautiful," from people who have never seen H boat before. You may not believe that, but there were people who have never seen H boat before, and they said, "Oh, it's so nice." And I think even this is interesting, and maybe they might have other traveler like this one, other construction, or so. At this moment, we are still working with very small numbers, and we are absolutely flexible and open for any idea. But of course, we will fix these plans, and maybe we have two price lists for the future.
Okay, it looks very, very nice. Is that from the Düsseldorf exhibition?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And one other detail we changed is the winch. We changed from Andersen to a German supplier. We tested Andersen winches at this boat, and I was not so happy with that. I know them from the past, of course. And now we changed to a supplier from Berlin, which looks nice. Not looks nice, which seems to have the better function.
It works a little bit different with the Anderson winch. Everybody knows you have pull one click, and the winch always snaps a little bit back, and you can only trim the jib by one click. And with this new winch, you don't have this clicking anymore because there's a different system inside. So you have endless possibilities to adjust the jib just by the slightest bit. And we found that to be nice, especially when you have light winds, that you don't have this click, which makes some vibration in the sail and breaks a little bit.
It's a very nice and orderly arranged layout on the cabin top there with trim lines to the sides. So it looks very good for the regatta sailor, for sure.
We hope so. We wait for some experience and some information, but I think it's fine, and it's more or less same what I did many years ago, and why should this not work even today? So let's see.
I remember on the latest of the Botnia, the arrangement on the top was a molded top that sort of had some wings going out a little bit. If you know what I say, you have decided to make it in a different way. Can you comment on that?
Yes, I think this was one of the reasons why we decided for this Frauscher boat. Frauscher had in the deck mold, difficult to see maybe, but this garage, this part where you slide in the sliding hatch, this is part of the deck, and it's laminated and it's absolutely watertight. And I think even this whole construction is very strong and makes it a little bit stiffer. So we put some thin, or not some aluminium in, so we have the screws very, very strongly made there. And I think it's nice and strong and has a good function, this construction there. So, as we know before, it's not possible to make too many changes because most things are fixed. And why should we change things which are good? And on some small parts, we try to make it little bit better again. But let's wait and see what the results will be on the race course. We cross the fingers for Kai on Lake of Garda, but after that we know more. This is our boat on Christoph on Waldeneysee in Germany.
How long time is the lead time if you order an H boat?
Depends a little bit on the season. For this year, we still have one boat in stock, this boat show boat, what we can sell. And I think we have so much work at the yard, I will not promise that we are able to build one more boat for this summer season. So we think more to 24 and try to plan that in a good way. And maybe then we are able to build maybe even more than 10 boats if we get some orders or pre-orders early enough. If you want to order a boat, we only ask for 10,000 euro with the order. So the order is fixed, and all the rest of the money we need much later when the boat is built or when the boat is ready. So nobody must pay today 50,000 euros or something if you want.
That sounds very reasonable, very reasonable. So if you are through your presentation, I would like to turn to Christoph and hear if we have some questions from the spectators, from the Facebook It doesn't seem to be the case.
No.
There are no questions.
No questions.
No questions.
Okay.
That must be because you have explained everything so
I'm not
well.
sure. Maybe everybody is tired now and sleeping.
I don't think so. You can never fall asleep when you look at a beauty like H boat. Just like you said, people that were at the show and haven't seen an H boat before thought it was beautiful. I also know of exhibitions in Denmark where we exhibited an old H boat. It was shined up, so it looked very nice. But even though they are much bigger, fancier boats, etc., people just like the design of an H boat. There's something about the lines that attract and appeals to everybody, even if it's old. It's a beauty.
It is. You are right, and this is one reason for, in my opinion, a boat have one very first reason. If you want to buy a boat has to be nice. You must fall in love with the boat, and this
Absolutely.
is easy with an H boat.
Yeah. The last 50 meters you walk towards it, you start smiling automatically, simply because it's welcoming you with such beauty.
For sure.
Yeah. And that also attracts, and that's why you, I guess, also went back to building it. You had the capability because you have a yacht and you had the memories of H boat sailing. So we are really appreciating this from the International H Boat Association's side, that we now are seeing you reviving the H boat and maintaining the class from that point of view. Whether it's good business or not, we don't know. And as an organization, it's not our, of course, headache, but we are very happy that we now have the option to refer to newly built H boats. So thank you very much for that input.
Now we have a question.
Let me explain one more word. So for the future, Niels is in response, and he is a person. I'm more in response for the emotional part, but for the real business part, he will take over quite soon. And I try to give him a little bit from my experience from H-boat times. And
Yeah.
So
We have a comment. Should I read it, Christoph? Is that okay?
Yes.
Mac says, for tour sail trips, it's probably good to have strong and good design motor holder, a spray hood, what is good and practical in mounting. So I guess this is a disguise questions. Do you provide that? So a good holder for the motor, and
Yes.
is it also possible to get a spray hood on an H boat from SAARE Yacht?
To be honest, we have not thought about a spray hood, but we have a very good sailmaker close to us here in Kiel who makes all spray hoods and cockpit tent and so on for our big boats. And I'm sure he can even develop a good model for a spray hood. And motor holder, we have a very strong version. So this is necessary. I have experience with that because I sailed my H boat in '86. I took part in the Worlds in Rauma in Finland. And then I made some holiday trip together with my wife and her brother. And we sailed from Rauma, Finland, through Åland Sea to Stockholm area and half through the Göta Canal. So
Wow.
it was nice. Okay, it was in the Göta Canal, it was a bit difficult always to knee to the motor and to handle the motor, but it was fantastic. And one thing is for sure, every harbor where you come in with an H boat, you are warm welcome.
Yeah.
Everybody offers you a beer or warm drink if it is cold or something, because everybody loves this boat.
Yeah, that's for sure. And there is a comment from Vesa Kahusari who say, thanks, that is what we need, more English programs at H boats, racing, cruising, etc. So thank you, Vesa. We're happy that you like it. But if we go back to the spray hood and the sort of the cruising version of H boat, because we know not all of us are racings, but do you also provide a furling jib? I believe I've seen H boat with furling jibs.
Yes, of course. This number one, what we built now for this guy who had these 3 Frauschers before, he gets a furling jib.
Okay.
We have a very good supplier for that in Germany. It's called Bartels. They have a really nice working system, and
And also watertight, which is also important because it will be under deck.
It's
the furling
under deck.
unit, which makes it even nicer. So
wow. So you have just a bearing sitting built into the deck, and then underneath.
You can change from your cruising jib with horizontal battens to your regatta jib with other way around.
The other way around. Yeah, I get the point.
With the
Okay.
other battens. So yeah.
Sounds good.
So,
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Thomas Nielsen and Niels Nielsen. It was nice talking to you, hearing about your experience with building the new 8 boats. We wish you a lot of luck with building it, and are looking forward to seeing it on waters. And I know this is being recorded, so people can revisit this broadcast. So again, thank you very much. I don't know if you have any concluding remarks, Christopher, from the technical side or from you. Jani Nieminen is just throwing in here an advertisement. It would be nice to see the new 8 boat from SAARE at the 8 Boat World Championships 24 in Pori, Finland. So that's one star to reach for. So you must push for that, Nielsen and Nielsen.
yeah.
Now there's a question here. The new winches that you talked about. What are the prices for those? And maybe I can add on my own behalf. Can you mount them on the console that is underneath the Anderson winch?
Exactly, without any problems. The same picture of screws. Takes the old one away, screws the new one on the same place. And I don't have the price exactly, but if somebody is interested,
it's a little bit cheaper than Anderson winch.
It's cheaper than this Anderson winch, but I don't know it.
If I remember it right from my head, it's 5 to 8% cheaper than Anderson.
We will put it on our webpage. There we have at the moment very simple made list with spare parts, but this will grow. And so if somebody is interested, he might have a look there. It's, as I said, yse.de, our webpage. And then you find even the winch.
And you will make the spare part list available together with brochures.
It is partly there, but it will grow, and the winch is not there. We will do it tomorrow.
Sounds good. Excellent. And I can tell you, just from a local point of view, the one Danish boat magazine still alive just had a featured article with the 5 biggest classes in Denmark: 4 boats, H boat, Spækhugger. I don't know if you are familiar with that one. BB 10 meter and Ylva. So there again, the H boat was promoted. So there are some from different angles. Life science that we clinch onto.
Yeah, I know even here it was the same with Yacht Magazine. When I spoke with them that we start with H-Boat, they said, oh, this is nice. We will do something for you. They love it.
Do you have a next trade show or exhibition that you already now know that you are going to show the H-Boat?
No, not in the near future, but everybody is welcome to come in contact with us, to visit us. Eckernförde is not far away from Denmark or Scandinavia. And give us a call or send a mail, and we can meet here and see the boat. So, yeah.
Thank you for the invitation.
One more question, by the way. Bartels underdeck solution able to use on races or anything? Anyway, the rolling jib. Yeah, you can use the Bartels underdeck solution because you can even put up a normal racing sail if you want, but you can't furl that. But as far as I know, from measurement side, it's also allowed to race with a furling.
The furling system would be there, no problem.
Yeah, I would also acknowledge that, not being a measurer, but just to say, as long as your chip fulfills the criteria for its measurements,
Exactly.
there should be no, and it cannot go higher than the black mark and all those rules. Then you are good to go with the furling as well.
This is the case. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So no problem. No problem.
Let's see. And so far, we will cross the fingers for our customer Kai Niederfahrenhorst to win the Worlds. Oh, maybe this is too much pressure.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye.